Hello, everyone, and welcome to the PMI Summit 2022. I'm very happy that you made your time today to get the hands-on, the client-centric management that this presentation is going to be about. So let's get started. What we're going to cover today? We're going to cover today what it is, what it actually looks like, and how it works. And at the very end, we will play a game via Kahoot, where you'll be competing for the latest version of PM Book. So the winner, after a whole session, I will get back to you and we will ship the book to the address that you mentioned. So let's get started. So what is actually the client-centric management? You see, in today's world, we're facing a lot of challenges as a company. We're facing a challenge how we're actually communicating with the client. We have to collaborate through many tasks. Another challenge would be the clarity that we're going through because we have to know what is actually the need and the pain point of the client so we can provide him the best solution. And the last but not least is the change. You know, in today's world, everything is changing so fast and we got to adapt to that. So these are 4 challenges that we're going to be covering today. First is communication, and is the communication with the client. You can take an example of, for example, a very fancy restaurant where you come to the table, you get seated, and the waitress starts asking you, what would you like to drink? What would you like to eat? And she collects all these orders. She must communicate with you clearly. She must listen to what you want. And in case you have any allergies or anything that you do not eat, she must have it written it down. She must then communicate it to the kitchen. So she goes back to the kitchen and she provides the list of your orders to the chef and to the sous chefs. And the chef and all the sous chefs and workers over there are collaborating on the task. They are preparing the food, so they are meeting all your needs. They are checking all your pain points, and they're making the most exquisite food that you will ever taste. And that's the same with the business. You have to collaborate with your coworkers so you're focused to the goal. You're playing to win. Your goal is to make the best effort that you ever can to deliver the best product or service to the client. So based on the communication that's been done with the client, all those orders of meals, now you got to collaborate with your coworkers so you can deliver. Also, you have to have clarity in what you're doing. And there's a third challenge that we're facing because I've got the communication right and I also got the collaboration with my colleagues right. But if it lacks clarity, if you're doing something without any special aim, or if you are leading a project, if you're preparing the food and you don't know the order, how the recipe goes, or you don't have the perspective of how many foods are to be served, how many foods or meals are already here and ready to be served, then the whole thing begins a whole big mess. So you have to have a clarity in what you're doing and also in what the client needs. So, for example, the chef gives these orders.
So the head chef tells his sous chefs how to prepare the dish. He gives them orders, and at the very end, he checks the quality if everything runs correctly. Last challenge that we encounter every day is change. A person can fall apart of your process, your chain of matters, and we need to have a great substitute for this person. We need to keep Furkan happy. We must take care of that Furkan doesn't even know that there's any change happening inside the company. So the 4 C's: communication, collaboration, clarity, and change. Those are the challenges that client-centric management basically solves. And the way it solves, it's, I believe, very poetic. Because, the ticketing you can solve by very well-oiled combination of sales communication and help desk communication. Because your clients will be ticketing your problems, and the salesperson then can do advocacy between the client and the company. And basically, they can very easily trace down where the problem is and then communicate it within the company. So, for example, if the waitress finds that I'm not very happy with the steak, he goes back to the kitchen, to the chef, and she communicates with him so she can solve the problems. She can get ready for the next step. This whole collaboration is managed by tasks management. And we in TechVisor and Easy Software believe that task management and setting deadlines and very detailed description is something that you need to follow to give everybody decent amount of data so they can work with that and thus make the client happy. The third thing is that you have to have reports, dashboards, some visualization of the data that you're collecting from your clients, from your partners, from your employees, so they can very easily move around and then they can do the best services for the client, because the client is at the center of everything. So, for instance, I may say that, the fries that I ordered are not the ones that I wanted. I wanted to have sweet potato fries. So that's the clarity. That's something that you have a data and you work with that. And last but not least, account management. If, for example, a colleague of mine falls apart, I need to take his accounts and manage them and take care of them, so as Furkan is still happy. And as you can see, the client is at the center. In the 21st century, the thing that sells is the client and his experience with our services and products. So bear in that mind that client is everything that we have, and that is what we need to take care of. Now I'm going to show you how it actually looks like within our system and how we treat our clients. So now you should see the account profile in the Easy project. What it actually says is that I have very basic information about my client, about the PKV Build LT Limited. And I know who is the account manager, and I also know who are the people working for PKV Build, because there are people that I can contact within sales. I can contact people that are technicians, that are technically orientated, and I can work with them very easily. So that's my sort of communication C, the first C. Then I have the preview of all the current and previous opportunities that I've had with the client, so I can trace back how much discount I gave him, what were the communications, what were the pain points of the client that I solved last time. And then I may find that these pain points occurred once again. And then I would have a manual how to solve them better this time. I have all sorts of data within data itself and within the sales activities. But most crucial thing is that I have the projects and tickets mentored to the account profile itself. And that's what we call the client-centric management, that we have not only sales, not only project management, but also help desk and ticketing within one profile. And if Furkan were my client, I would know everything from the very beginning to the very end about what are his pain points, what he's dealing with, whether the implementation went wrong or right, if there are any tickets, or if he, for example, thinks about upgrading from business to platform. All of these things I have locked in the system. So let's take a look at the project itself. So project has many modules, many scopes, and also many tabs. We're going to run through the most crucial ones that would help you to manage the project itself. The first one that I believe that each and everybody here knows is Gantt. So what is great about this is that not only I can move around the connections, I can also show I can create the better timing. I can also provide them what is the progress. I can also change the connections. Not only that, I can also choose who is responsible for every task. I can go to the task and very easily move around. So I can manage the whole project and see what are the delays and what are the things that are coming up next. The next thing is WBS. I'm very sure that here everybody knows what it is. For those who doesn't know, then it's work breakdown structure, where you have in the center the main project, and here then you have the supportive task that would help you eventually end up with a successful project itself. But what most of people don't realize is that we can click on the budgets, and in a very short time, I can very easily look at the CBS, cost breakdown structure. I can then see and fall apart what are the tasks, what is the planned profit within each and every task, and what are the costs, of course. And again, if I click on the each and every task, I can very easily set the priorities, due dates, durations, and all sorts of comments that would be connected to the task itself. And then I have the most important people that are here, and those are stakeholders. I have the stakeholders not only from our company, not also from Furkan's company, but also from my partner's company that helped me to get such a great client as Furkan is. So now I know what is the account, I know what are the most important stakeholders, and based on that, I manage their pain points and needs so as I can create a bridge into the final destination where those clients are happy. As we said at the very beginning, we are facing every day some challenges. And the client-centric management of the 4Cs, so collaboration, communication, clarity, and change. And each and every project has its own risks. So the risk control that we also have that is connected again to the account profile is very transparent. So I can see what are the what are the pain points, what are the challenges and risks that my clients may be encountering. And for this particular case, we chose that we will go with a construction company. So one of the risks may be rain, which would be environmental. Then as the COVID hits and also the war hits, everybody has problems with materials access and also currency fluctuation. Last but not least, each and every government is now changing all sorts of orders and regulations, and every contractor wants to negotiate the best contracts for them. So we can very easily mitigate those risks on the level of the accounts profile. So if you go back to the accounts profile, I can see what projects are running, what projects are, for example, on hold, but also I can see what are the tasks and what are the tickets from the client. So if I look at the helpdesk project, I can see that there are some tickets in the pool, and I can also check based on the SLA how much time we burned on the task and how much is left. Then I can choose also from the various operators what are those tasks, and I can very easily talk to them as an account manager and say, hey, Furkan is really unhappy with the services that we provided, and we need to fix it. We need to manage our relationship with Furkan and fix, for example, some bug, or provide him a better training how to use the application, or we could provide him a way of price books and contracts, which are very essential in these days. So after I do the advocacy in my company, then I can again come back to Furkan, and he will and basically manage the relationship between us. What is also very important on the client-centric management is that you have a great clarity within all the data. So what we have in Easy Project and Easy Redmine is something called contracts. And contracts are basically endpoints for three things. Firstly, if I sell Furkan, software or any sort of implementation, I can very easily, with one click, create a project that will download all the important information from opportunity to the project, and I will automatically assign it to one of my colleagues. And again, this helps the communication with the client and also collaboration within the company itself. Second, I can manage all sorts of integrations. So as I'm, for example, sending Furkan a quote, I would also immediately send him a invoice, which would be integrated with whatever invoicing or billing tool you have. And third, lastly, all these contracts can be one-time based or time-based contracts, meaning that I know what is the start date, what is the end date, what is it taking, what is basically in the package. So I can very easily track warranty dates, expiration dates, and I can very easily set, for example, a reminder 4 months before it expires. So I'll give it Furkan a call and say, hey man, in 4 months it's going to expire. What are the things that you're currently dealing with? Are you interested in improving our relationship for going from business, for example, to platform? Would you be interested? And again, the Furkan, our client, is locked in the center of our focus, and that's what the client or customer centric management is about. Last but not least are the relations. Let's say that PKV Build Limited is a multinational company, and as you can see, it has many child companies, like PK will be built Czech Republic, German, or Turkey, sorry. And in each and every company, they have a sub-company with cities that are based in each and every country. Again, I have the clarity not from the very top level, but I can break down the whole structure into small accounts. And I can, if, for example, Furkan would be CEO of PKV Build, I can then have a meeting with him and I can talk to him about what are the issues and pain points, for example, of PKV Build German or Turkey or Czech Republic, and how we can basically solve it with our processes. So, ladies and gentlemen, the client-centric management is something that is the future of not only project management, but also each and every company that wants to grow in next